Our next few moments. Care to share? I mean, the ad revenue isn't actually that much. It's just I was surprised at how big the bar was because I didn't actually think it was going to be that big. Because the viewership, I guess the viewership yesterday was okay. The viewership yes was pretty good. I think it's just because I remember the viewership of yesterday being kind of how it was when we ended the stream, and for the last couple hours of the stream, it was like 400 viewers or something. So I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Then I remember I streamed for 15 hours and we had like 1.6k, 1.7k or something. So. But yeah, I mean, the ad revenue is nice, but I think for 15 hours of work, it's it's pretty horrendous. I think is one way to look at it, I suppose. It was like $50 or something. It was around $50. Which for 15 hours, that's what, like $3 an hour? 3 times 15? Three and a bit dollars an hour? Pretty crazy. Anyways, let's jump in game to the top left-hand side. Our blue Terran player from Team Liquid is going to be uThermal. And we are going to have to the bottom right side of the map. Our pink pros player from Invasion Esports, it is Harstem. See a Corvus songs dropping by, modding and betting for us today, throughout the day. As we set up into this best of 3 TvP. What are we going to see? Sorry again for obviously such a long break, but we're at this sort of stage of the tournament where only so many games are taking place at a time, and that means that if we come out of game and the other games are still in game, then it's just going to take a little while. However, now we will get to go straight from the winner of this into Snoot, into them playing against Snoot, which would be pretty nice. That'll be a pretty good game in the near future as well, so that's going to be fun. And yeah, so that'll be pretty nice, and we'll go kind of straight from this to that, so we should still get a good amount of games going on. So, what is happening right now? What's happening? Well, not really too much. You see a Stargate dropping down from Harstem, and I guess that's something we can start to talk about. Harstem is actually a big fan of the Stargate plays here in the PvT. He uses this Stargate sort of playstyle a lot. So we're just going to be seeing this Stargate on the way up, and I mean, he uses Oracle-based openers a lot. Sometimes he'll throw in the Phoenix too, just to keep things different. But he is one of these pros players who would rather play Stargate than Twilight and Robo Facility a lot of the time, it would seem. I was just going to be seeing this probe from Adept from Harstem coming in towards the center of the map. Starport is going to be about halfway done. And you're going to be seeing that Widowmine going to be popping out in just a few moments as well. A couple of Marines from uThermal are going to be also on the way. Very standard opening from him behind this expansion, just a Widowmine drop, and probably into a Liberator or something as well to continue pressuring in the early stages. Second Widowmine also on the way too. I like this. He's not really seen anything. He actually didn't open for Reaper, so he hasn't really got much scouting. He's just going to assume an Oracle in the early stages of the game. And it is going to be like this Oracle and free Adept attack. We saw Showtime doing this against Bunny as well, but Bunny defended pretty nicely for the most part against this multiple times, so just going to be seeing these free Adepts getting ready to start shading, and there's this Oracle moving onto the map as well. So it's actually interesting. Harstem takes the third Nexus. These Adepts aren't actually going to go across the map. They're just at home to defend. So just a bit of a safe opener as here we go. Marines coming across the map. Widowmine's left at home, which I think is the most interesting part of this for the defense. We see another Widowmine coming up, a Widowmine in this mineral line as well. And you can see Harstem just going to check around. He sees the setup here and he knows that's probably Widowmine production, so he's not going to risk it. Turns back home because also he needs this Oracle to be able to defend from Widowmines at home because he doesn't have any detection. And if his Phoenix, his first one, misses the lift on the Widowmine, then that could be pretty annoying, as we're going to be seeing Phoenix, Oracle, and 3 Adepts joined up now. uThermal sees it coming though and backs away very early on. I'm just going to be seeing the Marines just unloading to the left-hand side. So 4 Adepts going to sit on the third base to keep on defending. And again, that the Phoenix and the Oracle were just having a little bit of a look to see what's going on. We're going to be seeing the Marines loading up into the medevac once again. I'm just going to be seeing this medevac coming through and just going to start unloading a few of those Widowmines. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. He kills the first one quite nicely, but the probes are all stacked up. Oh, no target firing from uThermal. Could have done so much more with that. 2 workers killed in the end. Oh, if he target fired on those probes in the back, that would have been, well, the Protoss's worst nightmare, honestly. You're going to see this overcharge comes down. uThermal will lift up. Only loses 1 Marine there so far. Back to the third base, which he's been working away against throughout the kind of game at this point. He's going to try and get a bit more damage onto it, although only really shields getting taken off it. He'll grab a probe as well. And these few Marines still working their way through this Nexus. So Nexus continues to take some damage. There's the Marines lifting up. And 3 workers killed total in the last few moments. So Medevac backing away and probably have to try and unload very quickly, as we're going to see these Phoenix coming in. Will shut down that Medevac. So Medevac goes down. Liberator from uThermal going to come away over to the right-hand side. So Liberator from uThermal going to come over to the right. And this Medevac just going to be chased down as well. In the middle of the map for no real reason. Going to go down. And uThermal allowing himself to take a lot of damage here in the early stages. Or not a lot of damage, but allowing himself to be cleaned up in the very early stages. Just going to be seeing this Liberator to the right hand side is actually going to get found as well. Although Widowmine, kaboom, doesn't kill a Phoenix, but gets it very low. And actually hasn't found that Liberator just yet. Surely he sees it, right? Just doesn't. Now he does. Phoenix will be onto that in just a moment or two. And we're going to see the Liberator coming in. Actually going to try and kill that Phoenix in the back there. Doesn't quite get it. Or will he? He's chasing it. He wants it. Doesn't find it. Phoenix will relift the Widowmine and clean it up once again. So behind all of this, Harstem has now dropped down a Forge. And, well, he's got the Twilight Council ready too to go into whatever upgrade he wants to begin with. Probably Resonating Glaives will be the most common way to open for him now. With the Phoenix up in the skies, Glaives is a pretty common way to go. Because you don't necessarily need Blink. Because you already have the Phoenix to help you shut down drops. And just in general, kind of Adept Phoenix. It's quite a nice little composition where the Phoenix is going to lift up any kind of units that are very kind of anti-adept, such as Widowmines, tanks, etc. So the Phoenix is kind of very anti-adept, whereas very kind of help out the adepts, and then the adepts clean up everything else at that point. Why did the Oracle go back? Asked someone in the chat. So the Oracle went back earlier in the game because it wanted to go and detect Widowmines, which might have been in a Medevac going across, so you had to do that for sort of safety's sake, just to make sure you didn't take too much damage. Then we've seen these 3 Phoenix going to move over to the bottom left-hand side. So continue to move around here. See a Nexus coming in from Harstem as well on the 4th base. Continue to expand as uThermal takes a 3rd, Harstem takes a 4th. And the Robobay coming in too. Harstem continue to tech up and get into that very standard mid-game PvT setup, which we've come to know and love as of late. As we'll see a little bit of a push coming across the map though. As +1 attack finishes, his Glaives is not far away either, and Harstem looking to try and get some damage done here early on. A few tanks up from uThermal though, and he's actually going to go into a lot of Marine production. He's got double tech lab, but only to make combat shields and Stimpack, it would seem. He's going to be seeing the Phoenix lifting up one of these tanks straight away. No Stimpack just yet, and here we go. Glaives is about to finish. Combat shields just finish up as a few of these adepts shading in already. That Phoenix still lifting up a tank up in the sky. Now it drops back down. uThermal will hold on, will survive. Doesn't die just yet. Still waiting for that Stimpack. More and more tanks coming in. And uThermal, this is a playstyle he used all the way back at the start of Legacy of the Void. The kind of hefty, almost free base, kind of Marine tank all in. Because it's not a great composition as extra tech comes up for the Protoss player. But it is very powerful against a Death Stalker because there's no splash damage in this army, which is very glass cannon-y. You know, it's mass Marine and tanks. You know, it dies very quickly to splash damage and anything that has like the power to fight through the tanks. But otherwise, it does so much damage, and so against what is basically a very single target focused damage focused army from Harstem, it's gonna have a pretty good time. Now, one Colossus on the way up, that's the beginning of kind of counter to this. You see these tanks starting to fight away. Marines will want to split away as the Adepts commit in. As we see the Phoenix going to be lifting up the tanks. I love the target firing by uThermal, getting rid of the Phoenix, lifting the tanks and then the skies. It allows them to come back down much more quickly. And if the tanks are back on the ground, they're once again firing, and that's what's so important in this. Really nice micro backwards with the tanks, as it more or less is only really tanks left over here towards the end. We're going to be seeing tanks still cutting backwards as Harstem is going to more or less clean up. uThermal actually has a little bit of a supply lead coming off of this, though. They'll continue to move forward with a few more Marines. We'll catch another Adept or so. It's just the reinforcements he sort of has to wait for. Sees that closer to the side. He won't be able to kill that off. And this tank has to lift up again. uThermal losing a lot of his tanks. We'll go into some Liberators now as well to help him sort of set up. And we'll set this tank up in the center of the map. Marines going to be moving forwards as well. 2 tanks still left over. Scans again. Still only 1 Colossus. Xenothermal Lance about to come into play as the tanks will unload. Look at that one in the back. So low on health. Just be very, very cautious about it. As uThermal will continue to try and be aggressive right now, going up by about 20 army supply, but he's behind in upgrades by +1 in armor, and that's going to increase here in the very near future as well. Harstem, though, is not ready just yet. In 15 seconds to go, 10 seconds to go, Harstem's already engaging in. I think the Colossus, though, just adds too much damage onto the Marines. The Marines disappear, and then uThermal is in a lot of trouble. His +1 armor is on the way up. Another tank coming into play too, but I think he has to back away, and again, the upgrades will be an entire set of upgrades ahead and more for a while for Harstem, honestly. I think uThermal's adding on Liberators as well, etc. But the Colossi count is growing, and this is why it's a straight all in, because it gets to a point where uThermal has to start teching out of this to fight, but it's actually very difficult to tech out of this because he's committed so heavily to the Marine tank up until this point. 10 workers killed already as we see more depths coming in the main base too. SCV is actually pulled into this, as we're going to be seeing Marines unloading to the left-hand side as well. This 4th base going to be under fire. We're going to be seeing that pylon picking off that medevac. And as we're going to be seeing Marines just going to hide it down to the side. There's that mothership core taking some more damage. 21 workers killed. uThermal's attack at the front now becomes even more do or die than it has been before. Blink not done yet though, so it becomes difficult for him to actually fight in towards those Liberators, etc. He's going to be seeing a few Marines steaming over to this side. We'll back away quickly and just lift, kind of pull away from this. Blinks are going to be finished shortly though, and that's the point at which you sort of realize that, you know, Harstem's going to have what he needs to fight against it. We're going to be seeing this War Prism come into the top side. Liberator will come in, try to fight against it. Marines will come in now as well and just going to pick away. And this War Prism will go down. So that aggression is going to be shut down here. Finally, uThermal will be able to reinforce his army across the map. It comes back to what we said before. uThermal is behind in so many other ways at this point. Down an entire set of upgrades. Another set of upgrades already on the way from Harstem. Blink now finished from Harstem 2. He's up at 3 Colossi. And that sort of numbers, those sort of techie units, are the units which really will just allow you to push through. Lots of units over the left-hand side here as Marines and so on will pull down. I'm just going to be seeing the depth just going to shade over to the side. And we're seeing one more depth picked off there as well. So one more depth going down. And you're getting Colossi and Stalkers working their way through these rocks. Down up to the high ground as those rocks do go down. I'm just going to see a few Liberators sieging up here in this location now as we're going to be seeing Marines continuing to push forwards. You're going to see a couple of pylons going down here, and well, here we go, continued fight. Liberators are all in the back though. That's probably one of the issues right now. uThermal's Liberators are very out of position. They're going to have to pull back and recommit. They're still sort of in a weird location here as he fights on in. The Stalkers will try and blink on through. It's still sort of weird because actually the Marines are doing a lot of damage, but the Liberators are gone. The Colossi will live. And eventually Harstem cleans this up. It was a close few moments there, but it does go the way of the Protoss player. And he looks as though he's going to be taking game number 1, blinking in. He picks off multiple medevacs as they try to retreat. Harstem going game. And let's introduce our players. We have to the bottom right hand side our pink Protoss player from Invasion Esports. It is Harstem. To the upper left, our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It is uThermal. And with everything on the line, he is going to proxy it up in game number 2. Look at that, Harstem. Wasn't actually scouting for proxy, he's just going straight across the map to scout what his opponent is up to in general. So he will see the lack of a base, obviously, and that will be somewhat problematic for him. So this Marine probe, coming towards the upper side. So probe coming in towards the top, and yeah, Harstem just going to be looking to see what is or what isn't in the Terran player's base, and it comes in here. Recognize the lack of a barracks, obviously. The gas taken, double gas taken, and uThermal will actually just make a Marine and then proxy the factory too. Wow, what's this going to be? Is this going to be like a tank all in, or like a like a super aggressive push, like the kind of build where we see a lot in Frozen Temple, the tank of Vac, Liberator, Cycle and stuff? That might just be this with everything proxied so that I can hit super quickly here in the early stages of the game. It might be. Zealot being chrono boosted straight away here from Harstem, getting an extra unit out. Every unit he gets out right now is going to be important, so definitely worth investing into a Zealot instead of cutting corners and letting that skip. Going to put his chrono back onto the Nexus because he wants to start a mothership core ASAP. The sooner he gets that up, the more energy it has, obviously. So that's quite important right now. As we're going to be seeing that mothership core going to be popping in just a few moments. So mothership core going to pop shortly. Reactor going to come up in this barracks. Tech lab comes in on the factory. And as the starports, it is going to be seeing that build order. Just everything proxy to make it hit quick. Okay then, uThermal. This is how you put everything on the line, quite literally. It really is, right? I mean, it doesn't get much crazier than this right now, as we see, well, 2 more Marines currently building. We're going to be seeing this factory building up that siege tank. And the starport will be finishing very, very, very soon indeed. So starport about to finish up. And uThermal is going to have tank evac, Marines. I mean, this is the sort of build you expect to see. And Harstem going to scout it now. So he figures out what this is. He sees it. No doubt in his mind what this is any longer. And there's that tank popping out. He'll just push straight forward, straight away. Another tank comes in. Doesn't bother with the cyclone. This probe he'll go down to begin with. No pylon at the front just yet, though. And there is an SUV here to build a bunker. Zealot in the back. Harstem a little bit out of position with that. He's just going to give up his natural expansion already. He's building double robo facility. And that is a mistake by Harstem. Harstem is actually under the pressure right now. And he is making some mistakes. Second robo is a lot of resources that are caught up in something that just isn't needed for a long time. Probe's going to take some more damage down here. They're going to start going down. This tank will chase up. And uThermal might just go straight into the main base, you know, because if there's nothing on the natural and nothing to delay him on the natural, why wouldn't he just go straight into the main? That's the power of this. You can go where you want, and uThermal going to pick away at this pylon. He's going to get access to the top side. Pylon has to be cancelled. We're going to see these probes getting pulled in. Oh my god. Harstem is in a lot of trouble right now, guys. Marines still stacking up to the top side. He's going to unload over to this side instead, and well, that tank's going to go down. Doesn't quite save it in time. 12 workers killed. This bunker's on the way up, pulls away from the immortal with the tank. Harstem types out GG. Well played. Let's introduce our players to the bottom left hand side of the map. Our blue Terran player from Team Liquid. Let's see if you're going to be cheering on uThermal, who is going to go across the map once more. To the other right, our pink Protoss player, it is Invasion Esports Harstem. At this point, guys, these players have been going for coming up towards 5 hours. We're about 5 hours into this event so far. And what's crazy is we do just still have so many games remaining tonight to get through. We'll be sticking with you guys until there's nothing left to cast. Well, that might not be true. We might tap out when base trade have the when there's only one game at a time. I'm not sure. I am very, very, very tired right now. It's been a long couple of days. Not gonna lie. I actually very rarely kind of believe in the whole get tired thing, and I'm like, oh, I can go forever. But today, I was tired when I woke up and when I started this cast, and here we are, about 9 hours later, and we are still going strong. Anyways, it's fun. He doesn't love talking about StarCraft. Harstem comes in, sees nothing in the base of his opponent once again. Double gas once more scouted in uThermal. He's going to say, well, you know what? You didn't defend this very well last time. I'm going to give you the chance to defend it a bit better this time round. He's going to proxy once again to keep his BlizzCon dream alive. Everything is on the line with this, and he is not afraid to just throw down the factory. And I mean, it looks like the exact same build, right? The exact same build from uThermal here in game number 3. This probe going to come across the map still. Zealot is out. We'll see the robo building. This time Harstem will hopefully not decide to build a second robotics facility. And this is already a bit different. He actually last time started the mothership core super quickly. This time, he's going to put the Chrono Boost onto the warp gate. He's going to get a Stalker out in that robo. And then he's going to get the mothership core. So it's a little bit of a different way to do this. Pylon coming in to the top right hand side. Zealot is scouting. He's trying to figure out where exactly this is. The probe is checking as well. And the probe will be the one to find the barracks, will be the one to find what this build order is. And there he does. He sees it. Everything once again spotted here by Harstem. First probe goes down. That doesn't make too much of a difference. Harstem is one base in it as well, I guess, is also a major difference, and that's probably why his build looks very different, because he has no Nexus here. Very, very different setup, and this will be a true micro war between two really great players who are so good with their micro. uThermal, arguably some of the best Terran micro in the world, alongside some of the Koreans. That's what's made him so great and so scary recently in these foreign qualifiers and in the WCS circuit events. Harstem has always actually been a very strong player in terms of micro as well. Has always been a very solid player in that regard. Tank going to siege up. uThermal sees no natural, and he's going to play this slow. He knows it's one base on one base. Oh, the starports. Where's the medevac? He needs to get the medevac here now, because if he doesn't, that tank's gonna go down. He gets it though. Gets the medevac there. Pulls back. Drops off with the tank again. This is important that he doesn't lose the siege tank. The siege tank is so important to this right now. Another shot. Stalker goes low. SCV's dead, so he doesn't have anything to repair with. Oh man, that was close. uThermal able to stay alive though, and well, Harstem has one Stalker very, very low. Will regenerate. He lost a Zealot and a Stalker in that trade. More Stalkers warping in. uThermal will move forwards just with the one tank now. See what he can do. He has to be careful. Stalker's going to be looking to hunt him down, of course. The thing is, uThermal's army feels as though it gets stronger and stronger on one base, whereas Harstem's army, I just don't know how Harstem's army really scales against uThermal's army as it continues, you know? I feel as though one base against one base is actually the dream for a Terran player, because Protoss one base is generally only good when the Terran's expanded and you can outsurge your opponent in terms of unit numbers. Now we've got a Liberator here, we've got Cyclone, we've got tank sieging. It's such a powerful composition in terms of zoning from uThermal, and he's going to start slowly creeping up this ramp and zoning Harstem almost into a corner of his own main base. More Prism on the way, that'll increase the micro potential from Harstem. Going into this, we'll see bunkers starting to come up. Marines will move to the high ground. Tanks will protect from the low ground as well. Overcharge comes down here. That bunker to the side is already looking to go down. Cyclone gets picked off. That's a nice little pick off there from Harstem right at the get-go. Liberator will reposition itself. Tank will pull back already. Liberator getting taken down quickly though. Tank's still here fighting. Another Liberator comes in. This is such a close fight to call. As we're going to see the Liberator picks off. Oh, what does it pick off? I don't even know. What's he even here anymore? Tank drops down to the side. The Immortals are going to go down. No! Warp Prism Micro is going to save both the Immortals. That's where the first one went as well. Harstem keeps his Immortals alive. uThermal loses his tanks and one of his Liberators in this attempt to attack. And uThermal is going to lift up, back away. Should use the Liberator maybe to chase the Warp Prism. He's not going to get anything done with this Liberator behind the mineral line. Overcharges are going to be way too good there. With this overcharge, actually doesn't really connect too easily though. Immortals now currently shutting down the reproduction. And this is frustrating for uThermal because he doesn't have units which realistically fight against these Immortals, not very easily at least. And we're seeing these units in the main base try and distract it. Actually does get him a tank to be able to back away here. Factory will lift up. Starport trying to build in another, trying to build up like a, well, anything really. This tank, oh, where's it going? It was going okay. It was going to safety. Now it's turned away. Oh no, uThermal wants to get the medevac out. And he gets it out. Racks have to lift as well. He's building 2 racks back at home. Problem is though, Harstem continues to warp in while uThermal builds absolutely nothing. And this might just be how uThermal loses his final opportunity to go to BlizzCon this year. And we've seen Stalkers continue to come across the map. Warp Prism with a couple of Immortals inside coming across here as well. There's that tank going to be sieging up, and Immortals going to drop down already, looking to do damage. SCVs will pull in as the tank will kite backwards in the medevac. Stays alive for now. Bunker still building at the front to try and hold up the position. Factory is flouting back. Another Marine will begin to make. I mean, it's just going to be these Immortals all over the place. They're going to be such a frustration to fight against for uThermal. This factory, is it going to get into position? Another tank would be so ideal if you could get it. You have to be very careful with this siege tank right now. Has to pull it back into position. It's a dance between these medevacs and the Warp Prism, lifting up these high-tech units. Harstem begins to expand back at home. Liberator has come in and is fighting against the Mothership Core. Don't think that's exactly what uThermal meant to do with that back there. 3 Stalkers going to warp in, and the Immortal's going to lift up once again. Bunker at the front here. Harstem going to look for a way in. A couple of depots already killed off over here, and that actually means the bunker is just going to be vulnerable. The tank is in trouble. SCVs pull in. This is it. uThermal tries to defend. Such a difficult position to defend in, though. There's so many Stalkers, but he's doing it for now. He's keeping this tank alive, which is such an important feature. As we do see, the Immortals dropping down immediately. SCVs will pull in towards the Immortals. The tank, ooh, where's he going to drop it? He's not dropping the tank off. He needs to drop the tank off as we see the Immortals lifting up again. And we see the tank in the back now is going to be under attack by Stalkers very soon as uThermal just runs out of SCVs. And he is just going to run out of units here in general. Another tank pops, it goes down. The Stalkers on top of this. It's Harstem who goes on to fight against Snoot and to continue his campaign through this lower bracket. GG. Neat Arctic. I actually don't know what Arctic means. I feel as though It's I don't know what Arctic means. I remember it. I think Miyoki taught me Arctic. Oh, not nice. Rip. Poor uThermal, man.